Are millennials financially screwed? There's a lot of data that's recently come out that is suggesting that millennials are really far behind. Not a little, not a lot. In fact, when I present the numbers, I think it's kind of mind-numbing when you think, wait a second, why are millennials so far financially behind, disadvantaged? I'm gonna help you understand 3 categories where, and then what you can do to fix it.
One shot, not a future for sure. Let's go. I'm turning dreams into reality. Yeah, it's one shot, not a future for sure. Let's go.
You might be a millennial if you like pop art like this. Do you like that monkey holding that barrel, old Donkey Kong comic book style? Technically, however, a millennial is someone who was born between 1981 and 1996. You're typically categorized by Indeed as intuitive knowledge of technology, free thinkers, hyper creative, challenging the hierarchy of the status quo. If you're a subscriber on my channel, dude, we do not like being put in boxes. We do not like waiting in lines. We are literally recreating everything around us, and we're open and adaptive to change, which, by the way, I think is one of the coolest features of all. Most human beings are so freaking boring because they're so committed to keeping their old robotic ways. You and I, we're here to create something new. What do I mean that millennials are financially screwed? Well, for just a moment, imagine that I could hold all of the world's wealth right now, and then I could divvy it up according to different generations. Well, check it out. If you're a baby boomer, did you know that baby boomers right now currently control 53% of the wealth? The silent generation ahead of them still hang on to 17% of it. You got Gen X that control a quarter, 25% of all that wealth. Millennials, they are only controlling 4.6% of all US wealth. Kris, what's the big idea? Millennials, they're still young. They still have time to build and accumulate wealth. Did you know that right now millennials make up the largest portion of the US workforce? Check this idea out. According to CNBC, in 1989, when baby boomers were around the same age as millennials are today, they controlled not 4.6%, they controlled 21% of the nation's wealth. That's almost 5 times as much as what millennials own today. In other words, literally just skipping 2 generations, we've lost 5 times the wealth that the previous generations were entitled to. Oh, there are reasons. In fact, there are 3 major reasons that are currently putting millennials behind. And if you understand these 3, then you can do something about it. By the way, if you're Gen Z and you're like, glad I'm not one of those old fart millennials, I got news for you. You are hot on their heels and you don't want to make the same mistakes. Class is in session. Pay attention.
Timothy.
Present.
Thank you.
Number 1, let's talk about student debt. Student debt looks different for the millennials than it has prior generations. In fact, 14.8 million millennials have student loan debt, more than any other prior generation, because it was college, college, college. It is the solution. And as a result, millennials carry an average balance of $38,877 per borrower, nearly $40,000 worth of debt. I would also guess that millennials are probably the least satisfied generation when it comes to what they got from college. I mean, most of us came out of college with degrees, and the majority of us are actually not using them in our chosen career. And Gallup poll says 85% of us don't even really like what we do for a living. There's a ton of millennials that are saying, yo, what gives? Is this just like the same work hard generation that my parents had? Where's the flexibility? Where's the freedom? And hello, where's the money?
Where is the money?
Number 2, investing. Millennials did not get on that bandwagon, the whole idea of investing and financially getting ahead. And according to Business Insider, they claim that 41% of millennial survey respondents said they're not currently investing in any financial products. 41 freaking percent. That's literally half of all millennials are basically saying, yep, for whatever reason, I'm not investing. Exactly half of the non-investors said that earning more would cause them to start investing. In other words, number 1 reason why they're actually not investing, they don't believe there's enough money at the end of the day for what they're being paid. Now, whether that's true or not, here's the problem. In 10 years or 20 years, they're going to look back and say, wait a second, because I actually didn't start while I was younger, I have even less. In other words, millennials are even more financially screwed unless they become more millennial like Gen Z. Gen Z is literally hot on the heels, except you know what? They're not all about this college life. They're not all about college education, get a job. They're out there saying, now over 90% of them are saying, I'm gonna work for myself, and I'm gonna be in business for myself, and I'm gonna financially get ahead. And the good news, at least there, is that when you own your own business, statistically, you do make quite a bit more money than just getting a college degree and working for somebody else. And number 3, of course, home ownership. And I'm gonna tell you right from Bloomberg that millennials definitely have been playing the catch-up game. Millennial homeownership rates have risen sharply over the past 5 years, which you'd expect as more millennials age into their 30s, but continue to lag those of previous generations. At age 30, 42% of millennials own homes. For Gen X, it was 48%, and baby boomers, 51%. So we're definitely seeing this American dream shifting where it's not like, hey, I want the house with the white picket fence. Millennials definitely pride themselves more than anything on mobility, flexibility, and home ownership. That's more like sinking down roots, and that hasn't been so much our thing. Truth is, whether you're a millennial or not, you're financially behind. At least most people are. And the first thing you can do to fix that is make sure that you're a subscriber on my channel here. Do that so I can help you financially develop that financial genius and get ahead. But more importantly, if you're like most people that are financially behind, you're asking yourself, okay, Kris, 3 things, what should I be doing? Should I be eliminating my student debt? Should I focus on investing in the market, 401ks and IRAs, or should I focus on home ownership? And honestly, it's a really good question. I get this question all the time. I'm gonna give you some strong advice right now. I'm gonna tell you that if you're a Ramseyite, it's definitely not gonna be Dave's advice.
Stupid.
I'm gonna tell you that this advice is counterintuitive for most people, but guess what? If you're a millennial, you're adaptive, you're open to new thoughts and new ideas, so I'm gonna give it to you right now. Let's just say for a moment that you decided to bust hump at your job and you actually saved up a sum of $50,000. And let's just say that it was stupidly sitting in the bank because you just didn't know how to deploy it. And you've got option A, B, and C. Option A is, Kris, I got that $40,000 worth of student loan debt, so you know what? I wanna get that monkey off my back and I want to get that paid off. Or you could say, you know what? The debt is cheap right now. I'm actually going to put this money in the market. I'm going to start dumping it into 401ks and IRAs and stock markets and S&P 500. And that could be my option. And option C is, you know what? I got to do what my buddies are doing. I got to play some catch up and I got to get myself into a home. And so it becomes a game. It's like, well, let's play the opportunity cost game. What will get me further ahead? What will happen if I eliminate my debt versus invest in the market or actually go and buy a house? Let's find out. Let's say for a moment that you pay off your debt. If you eliminate your debt, your $50,000 is gone. And if you're honest with yourself, your debt wasn't costing you a lot of money. So what you get is a feeling of peace. It's like, I feel like I'm doing something good for my financial future. I feel like I'm getting ahead. And that feeling might feel good, but it might be the dumbest financial thing that you could do. So then you're thinking, Kris, you're right. I'm not going to do that. There's a time to get out of debt, but right now I can't take my $50,000 of hard-earned money and just throw it away at the debt. So instead, I'm going to put that into the stock market. I'm going to put that into 401ks. Did you know that millennials right now, they're crushing it on deploying money at Robinhood, $11 million a day? But most of them don't really know what they're doing and they don't understand the game. They're just excited to be able to fractionally invest in stocks. If you put your money in the stock market, 401k, IRA, S&P 500, your 30-year average is going to grow at 6%. And I got news for you. Albert Einstein may have said that compound interest is the most powerful financial invention of our day and age, but that doesn't apply to single-digit ROI. That's double-digit, triple-digit, some real stuff. So the problem with this is that if you take the next 30 years and you grow your 50 grand at 6%, do you know what you're gonna get? You're gonna get $160,000. That's another word for screwed. Like $160,000 might sound like a lot, but if that's the whole enchilada, got news for you. By the time you're in your 50s, you're gonna be earning around $80,000 a year. $160,000, that'll cover 2 years of living. You can't retire on that. Also, not a good choice. Which leads to option 3. And instead of investing in a home, which by the way will end up being your smartest and best investment ever, I'm gonna add an S here and say you should be investing in homes. And when I invest in real estate, I demand a minimum 25% ROI. Different than 6%, over that same period of time, $160,000 can grow into $4.3 million. You know what that's called? That's called major catch-up money. And that means this option can actually get you somewhere. And if you weren't gonna do that, I do freaking option D, which is at least start a business. Get a side hustle on. Do something that can build a valuation, build an asset that you can sell. Bottom line is, real estate and business are two things that some of the world's financially successful people do. And right now, remember, you're behind. You're missing 5 times the money for the size of workforce that you could have, that the baby boomer generation had, which means that you can't work hard to make up. You've got to work smart. These two options, that's working smart. Listen, if you don't know where to start, you need a financial game plan. And right now, if you're feeling late to the party, you need an outsider's perspective that has created millionaires. Now, I'm not promising that you can personally get in touch with me at this point in the game, but I've trained a whole staff of people to literally think, talk, and act just like me, so that literally they could step into your shoes and say, well, if Kris Krohn were here, I can promise you exactly what he would be doing if he was in your financial situation. Because you might be wondering, I don't know, I feel like I should get this debt paid off. I got this credit card stuff going on, or I bought this one house, but I was thinking about buying another one, or I was thinking about starting a business. Do you think this one's a good idea? Imagine for a moment if you and I could connect mano a mano, one-on-one, and I could actually share with you exactly what I would do. The next best thing that I actually can give you is a custom game plan with a member of my team. And they're gonna represent me and tell you exactly what I would do. Because the truth is, wealth is a system and it has a formula to it. And my team, I've trained them on exactly what that formula is, which is I might recommend that you start a side hustle because I've proven out 50 of them, and some of them make stupid amounts of money. Some of them only take an hour or two on the side. I've got other people that are investing in real estate with me, and I've made it fully automated, fully turnkey. What you honestly should do, I can't know. But I do feel that if you have that free consultation, it's going to inform you of thoughts and ideas that you didn't know were available. There is a link below and an opportunity for you to fill out your information and connect with my team and say, hey, give me a game plan. I'm all ears. I'm open, because guess what? I've got some catch up to do. Links below. Let me get you that free game plan. One time I had a very successful friend of mine who had made millions of dollars, lose it all, start from scratch, and I watched him rebuild it all up faster than ever before and make even more money. And I've often asked myself, you know, Kris, if you start from scratch, how would you do it? Well, I decided to make a video on what this multimillionaire would do if I started completely from scratch. It might be the perfect game plan for you. Check out this video. Let me show you. If we haven't been 401k'ing and IRAing, as much as I hate those things, then we're gonna be left, just omit words, Kris Krohn.